Consistent self-improvement, everybody. You are now listening to American gypC Podcast. I am your host, Classic, and I am here with my co-host,
gypC. And today we have Jitesh Vaswani. He is the Partnership Director at the Art of Living USA and Breathwork and Meditation Facilitator. Welcome to the show, Jitesh.
Welcome.
Thank you guys for having me on the show.
It's a pleasure. So to get started, I like to kind of always ask, tell us a little bit about, yourself. Tell us, where you're from and how you got into breath work.
Sure. I'm from New Delhi, India, and I think I was just always curious to know about meditation. I remember when I was in sixth grade, there was a meditation workshop that was happening in my school as a part of the summer camp. And it was called the Art of Living program. And my dad asked me like, hey, will you participate in this class? And I was like, I know how to live. I can teach you how to live. You can pay me. And then anyway, so on the day of the workshop came, and I remember I was taking a nap and I missed the first class because I was taking a nap. And I got up and I got upset at my dad because subconsciously I was like, hey, why did you not wake me up? Why did I miss this class? I was trying to be cool outside. Like, who meditates? I'm talking about 15, 16 years ago. I mean, where meditation and breathwork were not like buzzwords like they are today. Right. So, if you're meditating in those days, people thought that, you were cuckoo or something like, something different, like something not conventional. So I woke up and I got upset at my dad. And I was like, why did you not wake me up? Right? I thought you were going to wake me up. I was just resisting on the outside. I wanted to go. So anyway, so that's when I personally also, kind of recognized that this is something that I wanted. And it was, not as, the Art of Living Foundation is now very popular. But in those days, we had that program once a year. Wait another year in seventh grade as a part of my summer camp. And that's how I enrolled myself this time willingly. And I was like, hey, I want to go participate. And that's how I got started. So I was 12 when I first meditated. And,
wow.
It's been an on and off journey since then, but yeah.
Yeah, because we've had a few conversations and mentioned that I didn't really hear about or get into meditation until I was like maybe in college, maybe early 20s. And very familiar. I grew up in the church, so I'm familiar with prayer, but right. Meditation was a little bit different. So that's amazing. That they have a program for young people to be able to get into meditation at the age. I think that's amazing, and that's something that they definitely should bring into the States and a lot of other places. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask earlier when you were saying you got into meditation at 12, was that in India or in America?
In India.
Okay, so you grew up in India.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was in India.
It's like that. I did grow up in India, and I moved to the US in 2012. I came here to get a master's degree in electrical engineering. And I've been here since. It's been almost 10 years since I've been here, but I grew up in India. Yeah.
So I know more about meditation than breathwork. That came to my awareness more recently. What are the benefits of breathwork?
Well, it keeps us alive. Breath, first of all. It's a very important. No, there's no breath, no life. Right. So I feel like breath in that way has a direct impact on the life force energy inside of us also. I kind of think of breath work as a way to get into meditation. It's like the journey that you take for easy meditation. Otherwise, what happens is, you're meditating, but you're really not meditating, and sometimes there are like a lot of thoughts that overpower us, a lot of emotions that overpower us. Not that they're counterproductive to meditation. They can be a part of meditation, but to just transcend that level of body thoughts and emotions. Breathing is an integral part because it's even physiologically our emotions and our breath are interlinked in a way. For example, let me ask you, how do you breathe when you're angry?
Mm, pretty
How's
deep,
it
I
breath?
guess, intense.
Yeah, I think
Intense.
your heart rate would probably go up, so
Yeah.
your breathing probably
Yeah,
a little more. Yeah.
exactly. Heart rate is higher, breathing is faster. Now let's observe, how's your breath when you're sad?
Yeah. I guess probably would depend on what kind of sadness, but I would say if it's just just a low feeling,
Shallow.
Yeah,
probably yeah,
shallow. Yeah. So if you notice,
slower a little.
uh,
I would think probably a little slower.
slower, yeah. So if you notice this tendency that our emotions have an impact on the breath. Now, thankfully, vice versa is also true. So by learning how to breathe, we can learn how to manage our own emotions in a way because they're connected with each other.
Right.
Um, and with breath work, then meditation becomes very easy.
Yeah, I could, because even sometimes with just if you got so much going and you kind of just
Yeah.
that'll bring to your attention that okay, I'm breathing fast, or I'm breathing or I'm not breathing or something,
Right.
kind
Right.
of way. Yeah, with whatever's going on in the moment, because
Yeah.
and it's even like you say emotional. Of course, we know she knows we know each other pretty well, so even if
Yeah.
without anything being said, it's like what's wrong, you know,
Yeah.
you know. So I can definitely relate to emotional breathing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a certain style of meditation you prefer?
Um, well, over the years, I've tried a lot of different modalities. There are so many things, so many wonderful things that are out there. Um, there's a Sanskrit saying, which loosely translated says like whatever stream, wherever wherever if it rains, the water can go into different streams, but ultimately the streams lead to the same ocean. There's like a poem like that. So which means like whatever path of meditation or whatever style of meditation, modality of meditation you choose, you ultimately go to the same, space in a way, same ocean, the same depth that is within you. That the way to reach can be different. And for me, I practice the sky breath meditation. It's a Kriya yoga technique. So I love that. And I've been doing that from the last, I don't know how many years, 15 years almost. And yeah.
I haven't heard of that. Can
Yeah, I
you tell
haven't
us a
either.
little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. It's a rhythmic breathing technique. It's a combination of five different breathing techniques. In fact, there was a recent research at Yale where they had, a clinical study on 200 students, and they observed six wellness markers over a period of certain time, and they compared several different well-being interventions, and one of them was sky breath meditation. And it was incredible. The results which were formed were incredible. So it's a breathing technique, five different breathing techniques. Some of them derive from the ancient science of pranayama. Prana means life force energy. Ayama means to move the life force energy through different breathing techniques. So some of it is ancient science of pranayama. Some of it is founded by the founder Sri Ravi Shankar. He went into a period of silence, and he says that it came as a poem to him. So I practice that. It's very effective for myself. Yeah.
Have Have you ever tried one of those like silent retreats?
I have. I
I,
I take one every 6 months.
really? So like what's the benefit? Because I've thought of it before. It came to my awareness like a few
Yeah.
years ago, but now I recently thought about it. So like how was your experience with that and what's the benefit that you personally receive from it?
Let me ask you this: what triggered that thought inside of you to consider that, or what brought it to your awareness in the first place?
Um, I think I was doing some, maybe I was reading a book or
Hmm.
researching probably um, probably meditation or something in that realm. And I came across it and thought it was fascinating and be interesting to try. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that's what.
Yeah, that's cool. Um, I think for me, silent retreat is like a vacation. Um, Generally when we go on vacation, you guys can tell me if this is true or not, but whenever I would go on vacation, when I come back home, I need a vacation from the vacation. Like in the sense, like, you know,
Sometimes,
A
yeah.
recharge
sometimes, right?
from the
Yeah.
vacation. Yeah.
You travel a lot, you party a lot, you do different things, and you enjoy. Of course, that's the beauty of the vacation. But when you come back home, it's like, I need a break because I'm so tired from the vacation.
A
So I
lot
feel
of
like,
food.
yeah,
I need a
exactly.
break from the food from the vacation.
Exactly, exactly. And I feel like silent retreat for me is like a vacation, which is in true sense a vacation, where I don't have to be obliged to say thank you or sorry to anyone or text someone or reply to emails or pick up the phone, where I can just be away from technology, away from, I'm not saying that technology is bad or anything, but just my me time, where I can truly just sit with myself. And at first it was hard, because we're not used to it, because we're so used to cell phones, Instagram, this and that. But initially it was hard, and then eventually I truly, truly, truly fell in love with myself. I feel because of the silent retreats, can sit with myself, and it's just the most wonderful thing ever.
I guess it's different from me now, but when I first thought of it, I was, you know, going into a physical place to work and, you
Mhm.
know, from the commute, whether it's traffic or like a public transport, depending on what city you're in, or, just it was just a lot of noise and
Yeah.
a lot of talking from meetings to people, friends, coworkers, everything. It was just a lot of noise, I guess. And that was one of the reasons why I thought about it before. But now I guess my life is a little bit more quieter, even though we live
Now
in
you need more
downtown.
noise. You need a talking more now.
I wouldn't say
Although
more.
we
Still,
do,
we're in downtown
yeah, we do
LA,
live
so
in downtown, but
we get enough fire trucks.
Wow. You live in downtown LA, you said?
yeah.
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 Oh, cool. You must stop by at one of our centers. In the Art of Living has a really nice, beautiful center in downtown LA. It's the big dome. I don't know if you've seen it on Adams Boulevard. Um,
No, I haven't.
Adams Boulevard. Then
Check
when I
it
hear
out.
dome, I
We've,
think about the library.
Oh yeah, it looks like a library. Maybe maybe people confuse it with a library, but
by
check
the
it out.
river down by the,
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll have
we'll
to check it
definitely
out. We
check.
bike ride and
So
stuff, so yeah. We,
yeah,
as far as some of basically we were bike riding day around. So, but I just can't think of Adams Boulevard. I'm trying to think.
by the freeway, after you pass, I think like 6th or 9th Street. But like,
Okay.
what is? Tell us a little bit more about the art of living. Um,
So, Art of Living is a nonprofit. It was founded 40 years ago. In fact, we're celebrating our 40th anniversary this year. It was founded by Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. He came up with the sky breath meditation, the technique, and that was the summer camp that I told you about. So I took part, in a kids program, and it inspired me. Eventually, I took multiple retreats, breathing, meditation, and what stems from this space of peace that's created by meditation is the attitude to serve and give back to the society. So I feel like Art of Living is also a movement in a way to create social good. In the last 40 years, we are running now almost 700 free schools. We have revived more than 40 rivers in drought prone areas with the help of volunteers, inspiring them to give back to their communities. And several other programs, trauma relief. We have a program where we have taught 800,000 inmates how to meditate.
It's
So it's
nice.
an incredible movement in over 156 countries, and the beauty of it is volunteer run, and there's no like boss, there's no employee. It's people wanting to create social good. So that's the beauty of it.
That sounds really nice. Pretty
Yeah.
like a really big project. Yeah. How
Oh,
many facilities? You say 700?
700 free schools, in the sense these are like normal schools in villages where people don't have access to education.
Okay.
We're providing, through our program. So, we utilize our programs, the retreats and the breathing and the meditation workshops, also as a way to fundraise to support some of these social activities that we, undertake. So yeah, close to 700 free schools. We provide the kids with not just education, but also uniforms and books, and sometimes the stories are so heartwarming, because these are sometimes, in some places, these are first generation kids who are seeing a school.
Mm.
And for a lot of the parents who have never seen school or the idea of education and stuff like that, it's so hard for them to send their kids away, because for them, in poverty stricken areas, in poverty stricken areas, the kids can be like a helping hand to earn more money. So they're like, why should I send my kids to school when they can, do odd jobs and make some more money for the family? So sometimes the art of living has to kind of support the income that the kids would otherwise bring, and like pay the parents that, okay, here's the share that your kid might have earned, but send them to school, send them, educate them, so that when they grow up, they can, be more successful and have a better chance in this world to, thrive in a way.
I'd like to go back a little bit on the breathing.
Yeah.
Even just like for me, I could say my normal breathing, you know, um, chest breathing. And even with meditation, you're breathing more with your stomach, right? Your abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way, or what's the, would you say, the right way to breathe? If you could, you know, to have a all day meditative type of breath, if you were to say, I want to walk around and be conscious a little bit and try to see if I can get into a walk around meditative type of breathing, how would that look?
Sure. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong per se, any wrong way of breathing. Um, when I say we teach breath work, it's more like, you learn different breathing techniques that you practice in a certain part of the day. It's almost like, let's say, um, on a, you guys live in LA, the weather can get pretty hot, right?
Mm.
So you take a shower once a day, and most of the days that's fine, right? But on a hot sunny day, you need to take a second shower, right, in the evening. So these techniques are more like that. So you take a shower for the mind once a day, and that's generally good enough for the whole day. So you don't have to continue practicing something throughout the day, to be mindful, to be more, more aware, let's say, more focused. Um, and maybe on some days where our mind is really not focused, or we're going through a crisis or a tough situation, or a personal moment where we are feeling low, it's okay to take shower twice a day. So you can again come back to the breathing exercises. Let's say you did one time in the morning, and then you can come back to it in the evening, just so that you can give your mind that break or refresh. But if you were to think of a way to keep it constantly throughout the day, I would say, just like as a start, just becoming aware of the breath itself is, a big deal. So if you're like, let's say you're talking to me right now, are you aware of your breath right now?
Not until I just thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And it's very interesting.
Yeah.
As soon as you become aware of the breath, you become aware of a lot of things. You become so conscious, like it's a very naturally occurring phenomena. So I wouldn't say there's a right or a wrong way to breathe, right? And you don't have to really practice like a breathing technique per se throughout the day to feel that meditative state. I would rather um, have you learn like some of these breathing techniques and then just chalk out some time, like maybe like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes in the morning. And that sets the tone for the entire day.
Okay. I was just, I guess, asking for some really stressful days. No.
Yeah, on those stressful days you can get a second timer.
Yeah.
Did you say it was a stressful day for you?
No, what's that? You kind of broke up a little
you,
bit.
you Oh, same here. I couldn't hear the last part. I was wondering if you said that was today a stressful day for you?
No, no, I was saying, you to if you have a a very stressful day coming up, and you feel like your morning meditation may not last you the day,
Oh,
and you want to practice. All right, let me see if I could stay in a meditative state most of the day, so that I won't, you know, feel a certain way by midday. But that's just
right,
some of the things that you think about, or that I
right.
think about.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to go about it, right? Like, but if you learn it properly, generally, for example, if you get it once a day, it stays with like for me when I started, the feeling would stay with me for like like say 6 7 hours at a stretch, which is almost most of the workday. And then I would find that the more I started practicing it every day, that stretch became longer and longer, for which the feeling stayed. And now it's like a practice, right? Retraining the mind to think a certain way or to start acting a certain way. For example, in LA, you have to go to, let's say, downtown LA to Cafe Gratitude, right? And you're used to taking a certain route, right? Maybe the 101, I don't know. I'm just taking a guess. You take the 101, and now because you took that route once, the brain is used to, like, so the second time you're going, it's so much easier for the brain just to take the same route, right? So for us and the in the mind and the brain, it's so easy to traverse the same route again and again. So let's say when we are going through a tough situation, if you got anxious the first time, it's easier for the brain to get anxious the second time around also. Then the anxiety becomes a practice. So with the meditation, what happens is you're breaking that pattern and kind of forming a new practice for the brain, a new route, which is, oh, you can be happier and more productive and more joyful. So now, once the brain has traversed that route, it's like, yes, I can be happier in a certain situation. So the second time around, when it faces a similar situation, it's like, last time I learned how to be happy in this situation. So maybe this time it's easier to be happier. And then as time progresses, it becomes easier and easier. Still becomes like second nature in a way. So
Uh,
yeah.
it makes a lot of sense, even with my journey with meditation, from when kind of remember when I got into it versus how often I did it and little changes I saw.
Yeah.
I was in Georgia. We lived in Marietta, Georgia then, and I worked at a vet office. And I basically started to notice then, with certain changes when I go to work, certain things wouldn't bother me. So, like you said, that certain
Yeah.
amount of time, that how long it lasts,
Mhm.
I got a kind of the calculation of that. And then after so long, it became where I guess feeling like it lasted so long, starting to fall off of my meditation. And, so then you get to a point where, okay, I need to go and meditate after, the turbulence starts to rebuild. And
Yeah.
I can look back on, yeah, the gap got, bigger and bigger and bigger, to where it becomes almost now like, all right, I need to meditate more, get back more with the discipline, so that,
Yeah.
there's less opportunities for turbulence in certain places. Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
When you're meditating, are you breathing in and out through your nose or in through the nose, out through the mouth? And does it matter?
Yeah, well, I would say um, breathwork and meditation are two different things in my mind. So, for example, when I'm doing the breathing exercises or breathwork, I mostly use nose breathing, like in and out through the nose. However, that's just a way for me to reach that meditative state. During meditation, actually, during the deepest form of meditation, um, a lot of the awareness about a lot of awareness expands. So in a way, you go beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond the breath, even. So breath is going in and out, but it becomes very feeble. It's almost like, you know, very feeble, very light, very gentle, beautiful. Like almost how do you smell a rose? It's like it's like a gentle breath, right? So same way, I think for me, once I enter that meditative state, it's the feeling of, as if I'm in a farm of roses. So the breath is going very feeble, but the awareness is fully expanded. It's a very interesting phenomena. So yeah.
So you've done, I know you've done speech. I know you've done TEDx. You mentioned that. Is there, when you're going to public speak,
Yeah.
and if you're nervous, are there things that you do that help you, you know, calm down or not be so anxious?
Yes, actually, there's a technique. There's this breath work called Ujjayi breath, Ujjayi, and your listeners can probably just. That's a simple breathing technique. You can just YouTube it or Google it. It's very simple to practice, and you can learn it on your own also. That's something very basic. So I practice that, just to get my mind focused, and help with the butterflies in the stomach before a conversation. Um, but yeah, that's what I practice. Ujjayi breath.
Okay.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
I think you mentioned, you say, are you like podcast, or are you getting into podcasting?
I want to create my own show one day. But I've definitely been on a few shows myself, and I've helped some of my colleagues and my friends get onto other shows as well. So
Okay.
yeah.
I was gonna say, if you needed any, podcast tips as far as on equipment or anything like that.
Yes,
I just
absolutely.
wanted,
I would love that. I
well,
would.
we use the Rodecaster Pro for our recording, and it holds
Gotcha.
up for, up to 4 microphones, and
Okay.
it kind of, there's no post audio editing after this or anything. This is basically straight raw, and we have it feeding into the video. So it
Gotcha.
makes it pretty convenient,
Yeah.
starting off as a podcaster, and it's not too expensive. Um, the mixing board
Hmm.
is about 700,
Hmm.
and the mics are 100. And these
Gotcha.
are pod mics that come along. These are Rode mics, and they come along with the Rodecaster as well. Well,
Oh,
they don't
cool.
come with it, but they're connected to where the
Connected already.
quality of mic, because most mics, to kind of get a really good sound in whatever it is, probably about $200 or $300.
Yeah.
This one
Yeah.
is specifically for podcasting.
Gotcha.
So they have it at a budget of 100, and it's great for, podcasting, gets that sound.
Noise
And
cancellation, because if I
yeah,
step back, you can't hear me.
That's true.
oh,
It
yeah.
was like a live demonstration. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
And it's pretty smart as well. So you can program it to the
Yeah.
kind of mic that you actually have. So it's not just for these kind, if they have different companies of mics, you can
Yeah.
program it for that. Yeah. So I,
Yeah.
it's not a paid commercial or anything, but a promo.
Right.
But it's a life changer when it comes to podcasting, and it, like I said,
That's
allows
very
you to take
cool.
phone calls and things like that. So instead of
That's very
investing
cool.
in, little here, if you wanted to go straight to it, I would say definitely any day Rodecaster Pro.
Broadcaster. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely consider that. And like I'm looking at you guys' background. Is that like insulation, like soundproofing, or
Yeah,
what
it's
is
just
that?
foam,
Acoustic
acoustic
foam.
foam.
Yeah.
Yeah, ordered off Amazon, and we kind of put it together.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I'm planning to
Oh,
set up a studio sometime around June, July-ish, June, July maybe. And then I'll probably get a show of myself.
Yeah, we basically were. I had a recording studio first, and then we added on the podcast part.
Gotcha.
So that's one of the reasons why we went ahead and made the whole room
Do you do you
podcast
do
thing.
like music shows and stuff like that? Is that what you had the studio for, like your music and
Well,
uh
I recorded. I was a producer and stuff like that. I basically record in-house songs. Also did some street performing in downtown LA as well.
love
So
that.
but I just kind of tickle around for me now at the moment. I enjoy the podcast. It's a different world. I get to learn a lot about different things other than music. I started playing cello when I was 5, so music has
Ooh,
been
amazing.
there
That's
a
so
while.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
amazing.
Initially, this was actually more for the look, and
Uh-huh.
we were gonna put two black. I mean, we still are gonna mess around with it, but yeah, it was mostly for the look. But now
Yeah.
it, I noticed that it does help with the sound,
yeah,
because especially when I hear other people's sound, and like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, it does kind of suck in some of the sound. So yeah, it's helpful.
yeah.
That's cool.
But we also have like soundproof curtains and stuff like that that help with the sound. But the
Right.
mics, I think even
Yeah,
I could say probably without a padded room, you probably still be okay with this
yeah.
without a
Mm,
padded room. Yeah, because
cool.
I don't know if you probably haven't heard any cars and fire trucks or anything
Yeah.
go by this whole time, but they have been going by.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
All
Loud cars
right.
and everything has been have been passing by. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
So
Pretty
Wow,
yeah,
that's
it's
good to
really
hear.
good. Yeah, it's really
Um, so you said you got into it last October, and then there was a leak, and then
it
you
was
started back
October
up
of
January.
2020. Yeah,
Oh, October 2020.
of
Okay.
2020. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we did about 3 months,
Yeah.
17 episodes, and then the took repair time and kind of just took off the year. Some things kind of changed, and that's even when I you know took off my music cape and put it down for a while. So the year passed, got a chance to recharge, visualize, and set things back up to kind of, well, we didn't this stayed, but on the other wall, that's the wall that we're not using as far as this background. But we used to hold it for episode no season 1.
Yeah.
We had the whole room. You could see the whole
Gotcha.
room in season 1. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But just kind of took the year off and then discovered matchmaker.fm
Yep.
at the beginning of the year, and it's been back to back to back. Like I said, we've recorded. This is maybe recording number 80
Wow, that's
for
so
the
cool.
in three
I
4 months.
got into matchmaker.fm like pretty much about the time when I texted you. It was like a month ago almost, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Month and a
Yeah. I
half.
think it was a month.
And yeah, I was trying to see like what's out there, and I was like, hey, this is a. I'm still not sure how to use that. Like I haven't paid them or anything. It looks like it's just
Yeah, it's
there.
a free
It's
account.
something
There's
like
like
that. Yeah.
limitations to free account, how many
Oh, are they?
messages
Okay.
you can receive. But yeah, it's a free thing, but you can pay for like unlimited um like
Yeah.
unlimited messaging and things like that. So
Cool. Okay.
Mm,
Yeah,
We
maybe
we also take
I'll
donations.
yes,
Not-
absolutely.
I
Yeah,
guess
no,
they leave room
I
for
saw that.
us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
Totally.
you're
but
in Arizona, right?
I am. Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Do you get into any kind of, I know Arizona is big on minerals and crystals. Are you into that at all?
My friends are
Okay.
but they get like really big on crystals and the energy and all of that, and I keep telling them, hey, you are more powerful than the crystals. You have that energy
Yeah.
already inside of.
They
But
should know that as well.
Yeah.
they probably do. It's just so fascinating, I think, like to look at, and some of them are really pretty, right? Like the crystals, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, that's so nice. I personally am not into it as much as my friends would like me to be. Uh, they keep telling me about the benefits of this and that, and I'm like, hey, I got my breathing, I got my meditation, I'm good. Like, I have a way to center myself internally. I feel like, and this is my personal belief, and I might be wrong about it. Like, uh, anything external can have an impact. I also study astrology, and they talk about gems and crystals having an impact, for certain things. And so I totally get it that it can have an impact, but I also agree that um, no impact is stronger than which is created by our own will. And if internally we can somehow bring that change, then external we won't need an external substance or an external crystal or anything to kind of affect that change inside of me. I can create the change that I want from inside. However, I'm a full supporter of how pretty it looks. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me to get it from my house. So
Let me
maybe that's probably
let me ask you, are your friends just collectors, or do they actually go out and find crystals themselves?
Yeah, because we
just
get
collective.
They're just collectors, huh?
yeah, because we get
Yeah.
into it as a hobby. Like we actually go like going and digging, finding where you can find
Whoa.
a specific specimen. All of these are we found ourselves, and you
Wow.
can't really
Yeah.
see it in the video as much because it's bright. But yeah, each one looks very different. But yeah, like
I could say
finding a mineral in like a desert and just it kind of it's pretty cool
I
'cause
could
It
say
is.
that's where energy,
Hmm.
if when I can say if, or not even, giving a energy, but that's where it is created. I feel for sometimes, when it's sparked, when you actually pull it from the soil yourself and you look at it and you're like, wow. And that energy, you know, that's
Yeah.
basically there, and I can't, but I wouldn't say to really just get super connected with it. And, but understanding that it's the energy that you get from finding
Exactly.
it. Oh, it's a
Yeah.
whole nother level of,
Whew,
I
I can
paid
imagine that.
thousands of dollars for this crystal and I'm putting it in my house, and
and it's
that's a completely different energy,
polished
because
and
now you're connected with, I paid this amount of money for this,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
so
I
it's
think that's the difference. I agree
right.
with you. That's totally the difference, because buying it versus finding it yourself is it's
Yeah,
like a journey that you took, like, to
it's
be
like
able to find
earth
it.
gave you a gift, personally,
Yeah.
and that's how it feels when you, I guess, an independent person, because you have these big companies and I guess it's like nothing to them. It's like, yeah, another one here, yeah, another one here, yeah, another one here. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Arizona is so big, like Sedona, there's like it's like commercialized on crystals in a way. I know in Tucson, Arizona, every year there's an annual gem show, but I
yeah,
think that is still a little bit better as compared to, like, some of these big companies, because in the gem show you'll find people who have worked hard to pick it out themselves.
right,
So they put their heart and soul into it, and they're bringing it to the world. And I think I appreciate that, where somebody really worked for that, versus when I see it in a store, just with lighting, good lighting, and like trying to sell it and stuff like that, then I'm like, do I need it? Like,
yeah,
then you're right, the energy is more of paying and transaction versus I found this, or as a gift, or like there's a
yeah,
flavor to it.
and sometimes at the store it's polished, so sometimes
um,
people have no connection of what the actual mineral looks like. It's actually a lot more beautiful than the other day a friend of mine was wearing a malachite
mhm.
necklace, and I showed her what it looks like in its raw form. It's like, wow, it's really beautiful. So it's I think and then you don't know if it's real or not when you get it from the store,
Yeah.
because they,
yeah, that's the
that's the
biggest.
other.
I hate that connection with my brain,
Yeah.
when looking at something that's being sold and like, is that real? It's like,
I like it in a
If I have
small
to think
form.
about it, and it's like, all right, I don't want it there. I can't. I don't. I'd rather go. How can we go find it? Yeah. So.
Yeah. Do you guys come down to Arizona often to ever go find crystals or
Not
anything?
enough.
We passed through once. I mean, we passed through a couple of times because we moved from DC to LA, but the last time we drove across, we stopped by Sedona on the way back. Spent like
It's beautiful,
two or
right?
three
Really
days.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
very
really
beautiful.
beautiful. But we definitely have to
Yeah, spend
check
some more
out some
time.
more in the desert side of Arizona where they have some
Yeah.
crystals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome to stop by anytime. Come say hi and
Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah.
The same here. We always invite our guests to if you're ever in downtown LA, let us know. Come in for another episode and sit in and
sure.
talk with us. Yeah.
Absolutely. I do come down to downtown LA. Maybe I'll email you when I'm there, and maybe you can also visit our center. We have it's a beautiful, it's like a huge dome. It was an old church that was, being abandoned, and Art of Living kind of saved it, and at the same time, it's an architectural marvel. Like it's beautiful how it's built. It's amazing. You guys should
Yeah, we
check
love
it
to
out.
check it out. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
definitely gonna go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll probably send you a text or an email when I'm there. And then we
Yeah,
can
we're
meet up.
getting back into our biking routine. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah, to
Awesome.
bike at least about. I want to do at least about 4 to 5 times a week. And even alongside the gym. We used to, of course, bike a lot before the
Uh-huh.
whole pandemic thing, but fell off a little bit and getting back to it. So
Yeah.
we're definitely gonna, definitely send us address, and I want to go check that out. Yeah.
Totally.
I'm happy to hear about it, and that's one of the things I love about the podcast. Just learn about so many new things. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Awesome.
Well, before we get ready to close it out, would you like to, let our guests know where they can, find your work or,
Sure.
contact you?
Yeah.
I
Anything
wouldn't
you
say
have
contact, I
going
guess,
on
but or
that
just any
Yeah,
new
I guess
projects and stuff like that. Stumbled up.
yeah, I think if anybody is like interested in learning about breathing and meditation, and also something which is preserved in its original form, because a lot of times now, because how famous breathwork and meditation have become, because they're buzzwords, I feel like a lot of it is also it's going away from its roots. So with the Art of Living, the beauty is that it's the roots are still preserved while we grow our tree bearing fruit. Like it's still well founded in the ancient techniques, honoring the ancient people who found these techniques. So I feel like if anybody's interested in something like that, they could go check out artofliving.org. And if they wanted to reach out to me personally, I think my Instagram is something that I generally pass on.
Mhm.
It's at Vaswani. That's my last name. Jits, Jits. And maybe I don't
We'll
know if
have
any guys.
links.
we'll have.
Maybe,
Yeah, we'll
Yeah, we'll
have.
have links.
okay. Yeah, sure. So they can just text me, DM me. I'm pretty flexible and make myself accessible to people. So
And I know that hopefully you get to come in, and I'd like to talk more on what it's like growing up in India
sure, yeah, we can have a separate conversation with that.
and talk food and stuff. And you recommend any? Well, I guess we have a favorite downtown. So,
What is it? Which one?
Mr. Masala.
I've heard of it. I've never been. I think that's the one near the
LA Live.
speaker, where there are a lot of hotels, right? Like a lot of hotels too around that.
Yeah, the
street.
Marriott and
Yeah, it's by Staples Center.
Staples Center.
By the Staples Center, yeah.
Yeah.
I've passed outside it. I've always thought of going in. I've never been. I
Yeah, that's our
I'll
go-to
take
spot.
maybe if I come here, if I come over there, or if you come to Arizona, especially if you come to Arizona, I'll cook it. I'll make it. I'll
That
attempt
we
to-
love.
Yeah.
Well, I was my next question was probably sliding a little closer towards there, where or maybe you can teach us how to spot some really
Yes.
great ones. So it's like the kitchen, yep, I couldn't get it home. All right, now he knows. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll cook some for you guys. I'll cook it myself, and then if I'm in LA, I don't have access to a kitchen, so I don't know.
I guess
generally
real
stay
quick, what's on the menu?
Yeah.
What are your dishes of your go-to dishes? I'm interested.
Well, go-to dishes that I can make really well. There's this um, black beans. There's an Indian name for it. It's called rajma,
Mm.
and I
Okay.
can cook that. I can make that really well. When I was in my master's, I would almost feed like 20 people sometimes in a week. On a weekend, all my friends would come over, and
Wow.
they would ask me to cook. So that's like my specialty. So I can cook you guys some rajma.
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
Rice and
Delicious.
rajma.
But yeah, we definitely appreciate your time and consideration and coming on the podcast and sharing some great info with us.
Thank you so much, guys, and take care and bless you and have a
Well,
good night.
we're gonna close it out a little bit
And
more.
for the
Sure.
listeners,
Okay.
Yeah.
for the listeners, thank you for listening, supporting the podcast. You can find us at americangypsy.com. We have all the audios, videos, and guest information for all the episodes. And we have consistent self improvement merch at luamlee.com.
And you also can check out some music under Classic Carpenter, KlaccicCarpenta, under in Spotify, iTunes, um,
All major
YouTube, Tidal, all major platforms. And thank you again to our guests. And thank you again to our listeners, supporters, donators, viewers, subscribers. Thank you. Thank you. Consistent self improvement to everyone, and
Peace.
peace.